Hello friends, are you struggling with thinning hair, balding, losing your hair? Your hair just is not what it used to be. If you are a man or a woman and you're struggling with these issues, you need to watch this video. Because I was that person that had thin, scraggly hair pretty much my whole entire life. And then past the age of 50, I started to get huge bald spots and my hair was thin. You can see from that picture there. And I thought I was gonna lose all my hair. And it was a very terrifying thought. So I put on hair extensions when I moved to Nashville. I wanted to be bitchy. And that just made matters worse. There's a picture of me when I took them out. But in this video, I'm going to teach you my 8 secrets, all natural. Every single one of them are completely natural to help you reverse that process. I am Casey Ann Reynolds, a health coach, behavior change specialist, certified personal trainer in the Nashville area. I will be 59 this year and I have, boom, the best hair of my life, and it's all natural. So you absolutely need to watch the video because number 8 is something I've thought about and I've researched a lot and I've come to the conclusion of why we can't grow long hair anymore. You need to watch all the way to the end of the video. But hit subscribe, like, and notify. I release a video every weekend to help you with these topics. But hair is one of those things, of course, we have on our head. It's an example, say $16 billion market. Yeah, even larger globally. And basically the whole concept is kind of like that caterpillar that I've talked about in my other videos, like Happiness Habits, which you need to watch, is it encourages us to consume products and to destroy our own natural, beautiful, gorgeous hair. That is what the hair industry does. So then when your hair is completely and absolutely destroyed, solution, hair extensions. And having done hair extensions, I can tell you, I felt very empowered. I felt very empowered the first minute I put them on. Having never had long hair, I felt like, I'm so sexy, love it. Oh, but I didn't love it when it got weird and matted, and I just had this fear, and then they started getting itchy, and I was like terrified that I was going to lose all of my hair and I was going to go bald. And it was very terrifying to me, so I ripped them out with olive oil. Do not do this. Bad idea. It was fine. They actually all pulled out fine, but don't do it. Go to your hairdresser, please, to remove them, and don't put them in the first place. Wrong idea. But really the whole concept is no matter what your hair type is, we have all been led to believe that we can only have one hair type, no matter what our skin color, our ethnicity. I am Italian. I have very kind of curly, kinky Italian hair, right? And that is, we all know what it is. It's the Kim Kardashian hair. It's the long, silky, kind of Asian, kind of Caucasian with that little curl, because Asians have perfectly straight hair and Caucasians tend to have a little weave. So it's just this thick and natural hair that only probably 1% of the population is blessed with. 1%, right? But the rest of us are convinced by consumerism, by society, by commercial society, that we must have that hair. And so we spend a lot of money chasing it and using products that destroy our hair. Here's the problem. The problem is that as you get older, particularly after you go through menopause, is that they'll destroy your hair. So it's not healthy for the younger girls to do it or whomever's doing it, but as we get older, it's downright dangerous and it's going to cause massive hair loss like it did for me. So anyhow, through studying videos, dermatologists and such, medical disclaimer, I am not a dermatologist. This video is educational purposes only. I promise you nothing in this video will harm you. It will not. That being said, this is just things that I have been trying over the last 3 years. And is this gonna happen overnight? Yeah, you're actually gonna see some changes pretty quickly within a couple weeks, but you know, you can see from the before pictures, after pictures, I am close to 60, so of course my hair is growing slower, but you know, it is pretty much halfway down my back now, and that's the longest it's ever been. It does take time. This is not gonna happen overnight, but be patient and it will happen. All right, friends, number 1, healthy diet. Okay, so nothing against the vegan or vegetarian diets, but you need a lot of animal protein. So you do need to watch my 8 healthy habits for a new you. So definitely watch that video. Basic concept, you're gonna eat a very clean diet, unprocessed food, lots of protein, lots of antioxidants, so that you're going to have the most healthy diet, and your hair is going to reflect heat. So the problem with heat is it destroys your hair. And so particularly if you blow dry your hair wet. So we blow dry our hair wet. I blow dry my hair. I do use a diffuser on my hair for the last maybe 2 or 3 minutes. And I diffuse it when it's 95% dry, and I'm only doing it from a far away distance, right? And particularly if you're going to do a blowout where you're using that huge brush and pulling it, you're damaging the cuticle. You are damaging your whole hair structure and causing the follicle to actually lose the hair. Like, you're gonna lose a lot of hair by doing that. And that's what I noticed. I would, you know, just do my little blowout in the morning. It looks so cute. It looks so cute when I left the salon. I'd leave the door and boom, it turned to frizz. Like, this is what my hair looks like all the time. It never turns into frizz. It is kind of kinky, curly hair, but it never turns into a frizz ball anymore. But I'm happy with my natural hair. If this is culturally inappropriate to you and you do not think it's professional, I could care less. It's my beautiful hair, and I don't care what you think. Okay, it's my hair. It doesn't matter if you think it's unprofessional. It's my beautiful hair, all right? No brushing. Now, brushing and combing pull out your hair strands. We lose 100 hairs a day. When we brush and comb and excessively use that, like particularly a blowout brush, we're pulling hair out. So I just use my fingers to style. Poof, and use the fingers. They work just fine. Okay, now I do have baby fine. If you need to use a wide tooth comb, that's perfectly acceptable. I do have to use a fine tooth comb on the ends where I'll get a little knot, or I will have to use a wide tooth comb about once or twice a week. I will pull out a small little mat of hair. But considering you lose 100 hairs a day, and that's in a week's worth of time, I'm still losing a lot less hair. So I do not use a blowout brush. That's like the absolute worst thing. A blowout brush, a blow dryer, and then finishing up with a flat iron. That's why you lose your hair, okay? And then you need hair extensions, and you're just perpetuating the cycle, right? So no brush. And what I do before I start washing my hair. Okay, so this is my routine for what I do before I wash my hair. So I wash my hair about every 3 days. About every 3 days. Okay, so I do keep it in a pineapple, in a nice soft pineapple. So I'm gonna pull it down. And so you can see this is my real hair. It's a messy, obviously. I'm gonna just like fluff it out. Fluffy. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is put castor oil with rosemary on the scalp. It's super thick. I only do this before I wash my hair. Okay, I would not recommend keeping this overnight because it can cause matting. I want to keep it on for like, say, at least 30 minutes to, you know, a couple hours. It's not cause staining to get throughout your hair, right? So part of hair growth that we're going to do is the hair massage. Part of hair growth that we're going to do is the scalp massage. So that will stimulate blood to your scalp, which helps those hair follicles. And so I'm going to get every single bit of my scalp and massage in that castor oil. And then I'm going to get nice and heavy on my roots. As you can see, it's not going to go to the ends. That's about as much as I possibly can get on. And I've got this big old, huge fluffy hair. Boom. All right. So for hair loss, you can also use, when I had a lot of hair loss and a lot of bald spots, was using pumpkin seed oil, and you can use that for hair loss. The only thing you want to be very careful about, it will stain your little fingers, kind of orange, like a pumpkin. It's also going to make your hair, as you can see, I don't color my hair, and you can see my hair looks a little orange-ish, kind of like a chestnut, which I think looks better. So for me, it's gotten rid of my gray hair, so I can't complain. I'll pick a chestnut brown over gray any day. Although I love gray hair, gray hair is absolutely amazing and beautiful, but keep that in mind. Keep that in mind if you're a blonde or if you already have gray hair. It can make your hair, it will actually change the color of your hair. Capsules, they're very, very safe. Of course, consult with your doctor before you do any sort of supplement. And they block the DHT, the testosterone. They don't lower your overall testosterone, but for men, they're going to, or for women, as we're going through menopause, and we inherit from our dads, we inherit if we inherit male pattern baldness, which women do, 1/4 of women do. So that was like me, I was going bald. I had a little bald spot right back here. I inherited that from my dad because everybody in my family is bald. My sons, my dad, my grandfather, everybody's bald. So I did inherit that. So that's going to block, particularly as we're going through menopause, that's going to block that DHT, that free range testosterone. I have to let Min out. He wants to go play for a minute. I'll be right back. Cat. He actually has a little chime that he hits when he wants to go out. So this is very thin. The oil is extremely safe and extremely inexpensive versus other hair loss treatments. Honey, nothing is going to happen overnight. Nothing, right? So this is my experiment. It's going on, I think, 3 years now. And you know, I went from having no hair to having very long, full, fluffy hair. People compliment me on my hair all the time, which I still like, are you talking to me? I was always that person with the worst hair ever, right? So oil, again, rubbing it in the scalp, really good. Getting it onto the ends a little bit too. That pumpkin seed oil, you're going to see noticeable changes in 3 weeks, less shedding. You don't see any shedding or anything like that, no. You're going to see less shedding and you're going to see noticeable hair growth. 40% of people will have hair growth with using pumpkin seed oil. And it's very inexpensive. I also take the capsules. They're very safe, they're very easy peasy. They have lots of omega-3s, so I feel like it's a win-win-win. So I'm going to ferment my rice, about 2 cups of rice, boil your water for 4 minutes in a mason jar, uncovered on your counter overnight for 24 hours. Then we're gonna strain it off into a smaller jar. Make sure you keep that smaller jar in the fridge. It will continue to ferment and get really weird. And this, you can buy these on Amazon. Make sure you have little plastic caps. 2 weeks, you could date it if you needed to, and then go ahead and throw it out and make some more rice water. Of course, just throw that rice away. So I'm gonna pour this with a funnel into a small spray bottle, and now just going to just drench it. Easy peasy. And on this, you don't have to wear the gloves. I simply still have them on. This will not stain your hands or do anything at all. I just don't recommend sleeping with any of these things overnight. I have super baby fine hair, but if you had thicker hair, it's definitely could cause some matting. So once this is all nicely soaked, going to pull it back up into the pineapple and just kind of let it marinate in all that good stuff. And whatever shampoo and conditioner you would like to use. I usually just use my Dollar General products. That works for me. Okay, so I'm just going to let that marinate for about 30 minutes, and then I will just towel dried it, and it's now in the process of air drying. Probably about 5 to 10 minutes into that air drying process, I'm going to use a leave-in conditioner. Just whatever leave-in conditioner you love. I just discovered this at Kroger, my L. I've loved this so far. It's made in the USA, it's rosemary, it's biotin. So I've been using that. I've already put that on my hair. I am on so long. This is the longest it's ever been. So my hair is longer and thicker and fuller than it's ever been in my life. And that's definitely way after menopause. All right, so no heat. I am going to use a diffuser. I'll show you that in just a few minutes at the very end, but that applies very little heat, and I do touch up with like an itty bitty little curling iron on day 2 or 3, and I do pull my hair up at work mostly. So the weird thing is, for the longest time of my life, I thought I just had wavy hair, like, you know, type 2 wavy hair, but after I stopped using heat and after I stopped flat ironing my hair, my natural curls started to come out. So you may be surprised too. You may think you just kind of have boring, frizzy, wavy hair that you can't do anything with. It won't curl, it won't go straight. Give it time to recover, because when you're using that straight iron, when you're blow drying, doing blowouts, you're destroying your hair and you're destroying also that curl pattern. So my family is literally shocked. Curl cream, that's really essential. Again, whatever curl cream you just love. I like Shea Moisture. That's meant for a type 4 curl, but it does wonders for my hair. I just started using this. Again, I just go to Kroger and pick out products that I'm going to love. I love this brand, and my hair is so soft for about 3 days. Again, I wash my hair every 3 days. First day, I'm gonna keep it just flat, not flat but curly. Then I'll touch it up with curling iron a little bit, and then typically the 3rd day, I am going to pull it up when I'm going to work. So a generous amount and scrunching that in. Now, if you run into problems and you get a little delayed, you can take a squirt bottle and go ahead and squirt your hair a little bit wet so that you can diffuse it and get that nice curl pattern. You can let it just air dry completely. This way, I just get a lot more poofy, cute curls if I air dry with a diffuser for about 2 minutes. So it's not causing any heat damage at all. Never, ever, ever, ever sleep with wet hair. If anyone told you to do that, it was a huge, absolute huge mistake. You can see too where I'll be 60 and I'm not getting hardly any gray at all. I do root touch up once a month. I get highlights once a year, and that's it. So my cost for my hair has gone down to 10% of what it used to be, and now my hair looks a million times better than it used to look. All right. Crazy head full of curls. It will flatten out pretty quickly. I wish it would stay this way, but it doesn't. I use a little dry shampoo. But just look at that picture of what my hair used to look like. It was flat, frizzy, and horrible when I used a blowout brush. You can even see that I tried everything. I had that expensive. This guy just doesn't want to do anything. I'll probably touch that up with a little teeny curling iron. I used to have that expensive $200 blow dryer, just hoping I spent $50 on a blowout brush and my hair still looked terrible. And look, I had the ruby red shoes all the time. I had beautiful hair. Hairdressers were ruining it. Number 8, it's like I saw a lot of videos and so many people kind of speculate that the reason that women were able to grow that super long hair in the past is because they never washed it. Well, for me, I just can't stand the smell of dirty hair, and that was not going to do. So I thought, well, was there something else that those women were doing that we don't do nowadays? Well, they're pulling their hair up in a bun, okay? And I started to do that about 3 years ago. So I do not what call traction alopecia, which is very dangerous, but I'm just gonna use a big brown cloth, just pull my hair up very softly. And you see women do all this all the time. This is like something we see constantly, right? A pineapple. It's very soft, very gentle. Boom. So this is how I wear my hair unless I am at work and getting paid tips to look cute, or on a date, which I don't even go on dates anymore. So interestingly enough, I started doing that, just kind of being lazy. And I noticed my hair was looking a million times better. And my theory is that when we pulled up in a nice soft bun, you went back in the olden days, used to wear bonnets on their hair. So it's protecting your hair. It's protecting your hair from the sunlight, from environmental issues, also protecting it from dirt, and protecting it from just damage of getting pulled, right? So try it, and it's lazy and it's lovely, and you're going to be able to have a much more beautiful head of hair because you're protecting it all the time, and you get to be lazy by keeping your hair up in a pineapple. Well, I hope you did find this video super helpful. You definitely need to watch my anti-aging skincare video because I do use an all-natural approach to skincare at the age of almost 60. And friends, I'm just wishing you peace, love, and joy.